So I am the hate crime coordinator for CPS Wessex. Wessex, as you've heard, is Dorset, Wiltshire, Hampshire and the Isle of Wight. I'll mainly talk about Dorset today because I think you'll probably be most interested in Dorset. So I've got an overview over all of the hate crimes that are committed and prosecuted by us in Dorset. So what is a hate crime? A hate crime is any offence where the offender has demonstrated hostility to the victim of the offence because the victim is a member of a protected characteristic, or any offence which is motivated by hostility to members of protected characteristics in general. So the protected characteristics protected by Parliament are race, religion, sexual orientation, disability and change of gender. So those are the only protected characteristics protected in law. So where you've got a protected characteristic, you've got hostility, you've got a crime, I have an overview of that case. So I don't know if anybody could have any idea of how many hate crimes in Dorset we prosecuted in the year to the end of March. Anybody got any ideas? That's the end of March last year. So I'll tell you, we haven't got time unless anybody wants to have a go.
250.
250, not far off. 130, ballpark, very good. Ballpark, 130 cases were prosecuted. Anybody want to hazard a guess at how many were successful of our prosecutions? Go on.
80%.
80%. Any other bets?
I've got to be careful because he's my boss, but I raised it
90%. 90% is right. 118 of those cases were successfully prosecuted. Now, I want to talk, because I've only got a moment, about obstacles to reporting hate crime, because I can only prosecute the cases the police give me, and the police can only investigate and charge the cases where members of the public report these offences. So what are the obstacles to reporting? One of the major obstacles is people's perception that if we prosecute the case, it will be unsuccessful. There's a thought out there that it's, oh, well, I'll report it and it's not going to come to anything. But I think what I've proved to you is if 90% of the cases we prosecute are successful, there's going to be a successful outcome. The other major area of an obstacle to people reporting hate crime is that feeling about what am I going to go through if I prosecute this offence? What horrors am I going to go through in court? And what I can say, first of all, is the police will give that case, and the police officers present who'll support me on this, a gold standard approach. The decision making will be made at a senior level, and they worry about these cases in just the same way that I worry about them for the CPS. So you'll get the gold service from the police. I hope you'll get a gold service from the CPS. You'll get what's called special measures in court, which means that you might not want to have to look at the face of the person that did it to you. There's going to be a screen up in court potentially to protect you. We're going to make sure that the person that did it, if they represent themselves, won't be asking the questions in the course of the trial. It may be in a case of a sexual orientation case where somebody's not out, or even a change of gender case where somebody doesn't want it to be known that they have changed their gender. In those circumstances, we can think about anonymity, we can think about press reporting restrictions. So there are a whole range of things that can be done to make that court experience the best possible experience that we can make it for our victims of crime. But remember, the vast majority of people plead guilty. So it doesn't mean that because when a hate crime is reported that it will necessarily mean that we grind some poor victim and witness through the experience of giving evidence. So that's my passion. And one of the reasons I like coming and talking at events like this is it gives me the chance to say, please report these incidents when they happen. When somebody picks upon something that is a part of you, a personal characteristic, and is hostile to you because of something which is at the very centre of who you are, it's a particularly serious matter. And the Parliament has chosen these characteristics specifically because they relate to identity, who you are, rather than something like what football team I support, which is, for me, perhaps less central than my identity. So it's a horrible experience, it really is, an absolutely horrible experience when somebody's a victim of a hate crime, and we really need to encourage everybody that we can to report these offences. And I can promise, obviously, that if they are reported, we're going to do our absolute utmost to bring the culprits to justice.